G'day everyone, it's awesome to be connected on this evening. Before I kick off this live stream, I thought it would be important, and think it's important rather, to acknowledge the traditional owners on the lands that we all come from and visit and are viewing this evening from, and pay my respects to those elders past, present and continuing, those conversations on lands all around Australia and New Zealand that are so important to our history. Our mission at Orange Sky is to positively connect communities, and over the last few weeks, that mission has been incredibly important in continuing those connections out on the street. Our community at Orange Sky is those friends that every night and every day trust us with their only possessions, with the opportunity to have a shower, but most importantly, that time to sit down and have a chat. Those incredible volunteers who put lives on hold to deliver our services, and you, our incredible supporters and broader community that enable Orange Sky to operate. These pictures here are pictures from shifts that have operated and continue to operate all around Australia. At Whitmore Square on Saturday, this shift ran on a Friday and a Monday in Jay Street in Brisbane. Our Perth services last Friday evening. All of these services, whether it be Preston and Melbourne, are really important to our operating model. These shifts are exactly the same as our normal Orange Sky shifts, the exact same mission, but a few small tweaks to make sure that our community is safe during this COVID-19 crisis. As we continue to find new ways to operate, we're reminded of how important those things that we take for granted, like laundry, like showers, but most importantly, a conversation, and something that's becoming unique in all these shifts, whether it be in the Gold Coast or whether it be in the Central Coast, is these arms promoting the social distancing, but where we see Eddie sitting down on an orange chair there, sitting down and connecting, is where we have the biggest impact. Over the next few minutes, I want to share a few stories of how Orange Sky is operating in this current climate and give you an update in the important work that Orange Sky has been delivering. At the moment, Orange Sky has operated 32 shifts in the past 2 weeks in communities that need it most. And over the coming weeks, we're adding more shifts to deliver that mission of positive connection. Like I said earlier, these services are a little bit different. We've got our same incredible volunteers with some additional training. As you can see here this morning in Brisbane, Kelsey and Tom with our shower van, Laurie, our laundry van in the background. We still have those conversations going. We've got some added cleaning procedures there. You can see the team cleaning the chairs and cleaning the washing machines. But what's really, really important is that those services are back up and running with those additional measures in place to make sure that we're keeping our communities, some positively connecting communities operating. One of the volunteers that was out this morning was one of our first ever volunteers in Brisbane. Rebecca's been with us for over 4.5 years now, and I had an opportunity to ask Rebecca what it's been like volunteering during this time out in Brisbane, and here's a little snapshot of what she had to say.
Like the essence of the Orange Sky shift is still there, so we're still able to have chats with our friends and obviously do their washing, which I think is really important at the moment because people are obviously feeling like quite isolated and alone and sort of not seeing many people, so it's good to be able to chat to our friends. So John is one of our more regular friends. He often uses our Orange Sky services. And when I saw him on our community response shift for the first time, it was really good to chat to him about what Orange Sky meant to him and how much he'd missed the service over the time that it was paused. And it was really good to see him back using our service and just chat to him about how he'd been handling the sort of social isolation and everything that comes with like the current pandemic and that sort of thing. And he was really grateful that we were out and able to help him and chat to him again. And he was really, really happy to have a chat. So I think what's been interesting about this current time for us all is that we're sort of getting a bit of an experience in what it's like to be really socially isolated, not seeing our friends and not being really connected to the community. So for us, it's like quite an interesting parallel to what a lot of our friends experience on a daily basis. And it's really sort of put into context some of the struggles that they have around like social contact and social isolation, and sort of emphasized to me just how important it is to sort of keep coming on shift and maintaining those connections and conversations.
Beck talked about how important it is to keep those conversations going, and our campaign to continue connection is live at the moment. I really encourage you to jump onto our website, orangesky.org.au, and check out that campaign, where you can find out even more news about what we're doing across Australia and New Zealand. At this shift, one of our first locations we started in October 2014, Wickham Park, was where our first ever experience meeting people in the community that were disconnected through participating on our school's food van. And this morning was one of our first ever shifts, starting back with our shower van. Only a few years earlier, launching our laundry van, launching our shower van. That shift has a lot of significance to me in a sense of feeling that anxiousness of, will this service operate? Will we get people or will we be able to help people in this location? And seeing those new innovations coming up and seeing the team like Beck, like Kelsey, like Tom, Judith out there, and really excited to engage in those conversations has been really, really important. Rebecca mentioned connecting with a friend, John, and 2 Fridays ago, I was lucky enough to be out on shift and I got an opportunity to speak with John as well. And we just found this little clip of a chat with John, and we thought we would share that with you as well.
Just give it a good pull.
No, it's not. Oh, John, you've broken it.
So there you can see John loading his washing into the machine. I think he said, did I break the machine? Which he must have been giving it a good go with, maybe not being in use for a little while. But it's really good to know that those vans are back out and operating in Brisbane, but also all across Australia and New Zealand. And what's been really, really great is those friends are incredibly understanding that those services did get put on pause for a little period of time, but those amazing connections are now back happening on the streets, and really those meaningful conversations that are so important to volunteers like John, support community that want to keep those connections going. One of those other volunteers out on shift was this morning was Kelsey, and here is her reflection of being out on shift.
I really enjoy the connection, and I wanted to do something to help out the community. I was walking past homeless people every day and didn't know what to do, so I thought volunteering would be a great opportunity to help out, and yeah, it's been amazing. I think it's very interesting how people are struggling in isolation at the moment, when a lot of our friends, that's just a daily occurrence for them. So just keeping that connection and helping our friends stay connected with just something as simple as a conversation. This is the first time I've gone anywhere that's not the grocery store, so it's very exciting for me this morning.
So you can see Kelsey's joy in being able to go out and help people, but also further empathy of communities connected and struggling with hygiene every day. Tonight in Australia, 116,000 people are homeless. What that means in Australia is 1 in 200 of us are out there doing it tough in the community, and that's 1 in 100 in New Zealand. And those people every day struggle with hygiene and connection, and now the whole world is struggling with hygiene and connection, and those opportunities to press pause and remind ourselves of those simple things that we take for granted, like having a fresh t-shirt to put on or someone to talk to. Over the coming weeks, we're going to add more shifts around Australia and continue to focus on that mission of helping people. Last Friday, we were able to re-engage with a conversation with one of our friends that helped him. And his name's Dave, and Dave was so excited to see our vans back. Dave is a regular out on our shift. He comes down and speaks with our volunteers every Friday evening, and seeing his excitement in having those volunteers back. He too, like Kelsey, like Beck, missed going out on shift, but what he missed most, the opportunity to talk to our volunteers. Dave's infectious smile really fills those shifts. I know some of those shifts over very late in the evening, and what's really, really important is that we can provide some positivity, some hope, and some connection during that time. And you would think that this is a normal shift, but you can see the orange safety tape in the background identifying those new measures that we've put in place. Also out on that shift, we were lucky enough to connect with Jane. Jane's one of the incredible co-founders of We Care over in Perth. We Care have done some incredible work in providing hygiene products. And really what's so important to our mission at Orange Sky is those collaborative partnerships. Every location that we operate at Orange Sky is with a wonderful service provider like We Care, like One Voice in the background there, like all those amazing services that are so integral in us delivering that mission of positively connecting communities. Orange Sky wouldn't operate without incredible volunteers like Beck and Kelsey, who every day put their lives on hold to operate. At the moment, we're really encouraging our volunteers to help us continue those connections. We've included some practices to make sure that we can get as many volunteers safely out there operating on the streets. And in the coming weeks, we're looking at running even more orange stations. That's our training to provide volunteers more opportunities to get access to those community recovery shifts. In a second, I'll throw to a very, very powerful and moving story from Sean and Amo down on the Central Coast. But before that, I'd like you to comment any questions, and off the back of that video, we're going to answer some questions, your questions coming in tonight, and really open to sharing my personal reflection on your questions. So while this video plays, I really encourage you to submit those questions in the comments below, and we'll now see the story of Sean and Amo.
All right, Meg, I'm ready.
Been about 3 months now, living in a tent.
My dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer in 2017, and I didn't really handle it well. That's how I ended up on the streets.
Things can happen in your life between families and losing your job and all that stuff where you have nowhere to go all of a sudden, and it's hard to get out of that. There's some sort of work and a place to stay, a home to go to overnight, you know, that's all I want.
We were walking to the car park one night and they pulled us up and asked us if we had any washing that needed to be done, and I came back with like 3 huge bags. I was like, ah.
Something to look forward to every week. Struggle throughout the week, and then, you know, we're going to go and get some washing done and a feed, and yeah, it's good just for a talk and catch up with everybody. So.
Yeah, we come down here every week. Sometimes we're here before the vans. Tonight we actually came down and they changed spots, and we were like, where are they? No.
It's the thing to look forward to every week, to get some reassurance and understanding, and people that don't judge and want to help, and you know, it just gives you that sense of reassurance that you're still in a good world. There's still, you know, still hope out there.
Their story has been so important, how those simple things that we take for granted, like having someone to talk to down on shift with the soul suit, is so important to the community. I really appreciate everyone's questions and support coming through, and really thankful for your encouragement to keep Orange Sky operating. Laura, you asked if I could share a bit of information about how organisations across the sector are supporting people doing it tough. And what's been really amazing to see is so many amazing organisations really step up and collaborate and work with sector providers, local and state governments, and really find innovative ways to support people. And what we've been really surprised with and really thankful with is the opportunity to collaborate and work through a really challenging time. Across the whole sector, across the whole world, we're currently going through this challenging time. And the more we can do to collaborate and support people is really, really important. And what we've been so thankful for is those people reaching out and supporting us, whether that be our amazing corporate donors like Woodside Energy over their support, whether it be supporters that have supported us from day one and continue to support us. Fiona, you asked how we can help, and what's really important is to get involved in our Continue Connection campaign. That campaign can be found on our Orange Sky website, and what we really encourage people to do is to share the Orange Sky story. But most importantly, you can help people every day by continuing those connections, whether it be checking in with a friend, whether it be volunteering or helping someone out there in the community. What's really important is that those conversations can help people out there doing it tough. Judy, you mentioned that people that we help are usually socially isolated, and it must be really hard for people doing it tough. And for people like John, seeing their smiles when our Orange Sky vans have been rocking up has really been a reminder of those connections and why they're so important. But also it's a reminder of how we can do those things every day, like conversations to connect people. And our whole community is being tested right now. And it's been great to see the opportunities for people to come together even more. I really encourage you to continue to submit your questions in the coming days, and we'll make sure that we get back to you. Steve, you asked a really great question about how our volunteers are being protected, and what we've done is rolled out a really national approach. With regards to your question in particular about face masks, what we're doing is encouraging you to keep in touch with the regular communication that's coming out with our team, and that's really making sure that's as up to date as possible. I think we'll finish up by sharing this quick story that's always to me a reminder of Orange Sky and a community like we are here tonight. And it was a story that came out of our Sunshine Coast service, a story about one of our volunteers who was a police officer, and the first time he ever met someone doing it tough, he arrested a gentleman by the name of Jared for trespassing. And Steve, the volunteer, or former volunteer, took to the bus and said, why did you sleep underneath the house with the lights on? You could have chosen the park or the beach, but you chose the house with the lights on. And Jared told Steve something that he's never forgotten. He said, Steve, the reason why I chose the house with the lights on is that the footsteps on the timber floorboards above me reminded me of my family. And as we go through this difficult time, those families are isolated, they're disconnected, but most importantly, those families can be connected. They can continue those connections through that simple thing that we all know, the power of a conversation. Thank you so much for your support. Please make sure you jump on to our Orange Sky website and support our Continue Connection campaign by donating in the options above. Make sure you register to volunteer to keep our services going, and make sure you continue to share the Orange Sky story. Thank you so much.
Australia is caught in a diabolical dilemma.
Biggest disruption to daily life many of us will ever experience.
Retailers still have to pay rent and wages with zero customers.
You inevitably feel the frustration of being confined to your home. I guess be thankful that you have one.
Homeless organisations right around Australia, they're going to be overrun.
G'day guys, it's Ben from Brisbane and I miss my connection to the Ivory Street shift.
Hi, it's Brad from Sydney and I miss my connection to the Belmore Park shift.
Leslie from the Sunshine Coast and I miss my connection with the David Red shift.
Hi, it's Narelle from the Central Coast. At the moment I'm missing all of the shifts that I participate in.
It's Nick from Brisbane and I miss my connections at the Ivory and Wickham Park shifts.
Kia ora, I'm Kathy from Wellington, New Zealand. I miss my connection with the Compassion Soup Kitchen shift.
It's Tess from Melbourne, and I miss my connection to Preston shift.
I don't want the conversation to stop.
I don't want the conversation to stop.
I don't want the conversation to stop.
So we need to continue connection.
So we need to continue the connections.
Now's time to dig deep. We need help. We need you. Please donate now.
We need your help.
Please donate now.
Make sure you donate at Orange Sky today.